Hello channel, welcome back everyone. We're all looking forward to another huge weekend. Seems to be lots happening just now. We've got a few topical bits of latest news to have a chat about. And then we'll do the normal game week preview. I've got my Celtic top on. Celtic are back this weekend. We're going to win the league soon as well, which is great. So we'll cover the Celtic preview on Predictify as well. Special this week is a top shooter, so we'll have a look at Egal's top shooter sheet as part of Sorare probabilities. That was quite hard for me to say there. I've not been drinking either. Just having a normal cup of caffeinated tea tonight. So anyway, what has been happening? We had quite a good rewards week. Doing well in the heritage specials, which was really nice. The jersey's ongoing. It's not arrived yet, but I'm really looking forward to getting my Sakura jersey because I think they look really cool. The card designs are really good. We've got the rares and the super rares out now as well. So not picked up many of them yet. It's been quite busy, but I'll probably have a look at some over the weekend. Hopefully still on auction. We've got the announcement for the Global Cup. So that's going to be running over the summer as specials. Wee bit of controversy, I guess, with the changes in the game week schedule, etc. But I can see why. Obviously, Sorare have done that. I think maybe for MLS, some of the game weeks, maybe you're having to put in your team a day early, so that probably doesn't suit. I know there's definitely some sort of contender games on Fridays that will fall back into the weekends, so that'll be good. But overall, $100,000 been paid out. You do need 4 in-season cards, so obviously Sorare will be still trying to continue to sell some Chelsea Limited and everything. I can't believe it. Maybe I'm finally going to actually win some with my Chelsea collection, or maybe not. We've also got the arena here as well, which is a new fresh idea. So I thought I'd give this a bit of focus before we do the general game week preview. A really cool idea, to be honest. Dan's been removed already. I thought that was a good video. Why you been removed, Dan? Maybe YouTube's removed Dan already. I thought he was a YouTube star, but he's already been removed. So it's a test for 2 game weeks. Basically, the concept is you put in your teams a cap to 60 contest. It's all cards. It's not just an in-season thing, etc. You pay 10 essence to enter. It's limited or rare, and then you've got this sort of prize pool idea. So there will be like some arenas which are boosted, and they'll get obviously 200 essence for first, and the normal distribution is 50, 25, 15, some XP, anything else in terms of headlines, limited and rares only. You can enter up to 7 lineups per game week, so it's going to bring a lot of like utility to the cards. You are entering your essence, so obviously like you've got to like put that in to participate. But a really cool idea. Something I think that obviously just nice to see a bit of innovation. It's not something that's just aimed at in season and sell more in season cards or whatever. It's something that's aimed at maybe a bit of fun. So smaller leagues of 10. I think the thing with the classic comps is not everyone loves calling them classic because refuse to believe that anything should be a classic after a year or two. But like you go into fields of big people and things, so it's a bit more of a condensed concept. I think there'll be loads of sort of general sort of scope with that as well, because you could have like invitational competitions and everything too. So there we go. Lots of fun stuff happening. So what we're going to do in order is we're going to go on to Spreadsheet, have a quick look at the game week preview. Then after we've done the game week preview, we will have a look at the Celtic projected lineup, have a look at the top shooter special. Might get some lineup selections for that. I don't know, my head's bursting tonight, so I've not selected any teams yet, which is not like me really, but it's been a busy week. So top of the charts, Benfica against AVS. Maybe maybe Trubin's going to come good. 3.098 XG, 62.5% clean sheet percentage is really high. So if anyone's new to the channel, this is a spreadsheet from Miguel at Sorare Probabilities, the top shooter stuff. It's also from Miguel as a paid service. Obviously, you get a lot of services and everything on the site these days, but Couldn't really do without the sheet. It was really invaluable for the heritage stuff as well. I think it entered like 5 teams or something in the heritage, and 4 of them cashed. And they won a jersey as well. So there we go. Sometimes people say, "Oh, you're a whale and you've got loads of cards." All that. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But like sometimes with these comps, you've got to go and like scout and buy the right cards for those game weeks, etc. as well. Besiktas, pretty good fixture for them, 2.9 XG. So I've got this filtered to the highest XG games first. Konyaspor, Adana seem to be the whipping boys for everybody. Bayern Munich against Mainz, so Bayern are proper interest, man. Quite a lot of players injured at the moment. They're kind of getting the Real Madrid jinx, aren't they? Like Kim Min-jae's injured, Davies is crocked and stuff. That's a shame. Liverpool against Tottenham. Well, Liverpool will be up for it. I think like they'll want to win the league in style. So I watched the Arsenal game the other night. Arsenal not really that impressive, but you know they're in the Champions League semi-final. So if they come second and like they win the Champions League, like that'll be hailed as an incredible season. So I'm sure they'll not be that bothered. But 2.7 XG, 42% clean sheet percentage. You would expect Spurs maybe to get a goal, but you never know. Newcastle against Ipswich. Obviously Ipswich, Southampton, and Leicester are down, so you could see a few hidings been given out, heads down, nothing to play for. Newcastle got loads to play for, so pretty good clean sheet percentage, well, 51%. Juventus there, Feyenoord. Celtic, so 2.41 XG, 47% clean sheet percentage. It is away at Dundee United, so I think last game here Celtic drew 0-0, but they had illness and everything in the camp, so I'll come back to that in a wee minute. Fenerbahce against Gaziantep, getting pretty good fixture. Got Monaco there. The French league's pretty wrapped up now as well, so that's interesting. Not if you try to call the PSG lineup. Again, that's still in the Champions League. Awesome team to watch. I've just mentioned PSG there, and honestly, just loved watching them this season. So many good young players and things, and Mbappe will be a bit raging, won't he? He's about Real Madrid, and I've got his rare, and they've been shite. So there we go. Nearly broke my laptop there as well, and it wasn't even intentional. It was just because I was thinking about Real Madrid. Anything else screaming out here? Decent fixture for Dortmund. Let's filter to highest clean sheets as well. So this is the cool stuff you can do in the spreadsheet. Just to give you an example, you can do that. You can actually filter to regions as well. So clean sheets that are standing out. Benfica would mentioned. Almeria. Is Maximiano still playing for it? Surely that can't be right in terms of clean sheet. Anyway, moving on. Sporting against Boavista. So there we go, 57%. Pretty interesting. A team that a lot of people like to sort of stack and challenger, etc. Atlanta have been pretty good this season. Napoli have been awesome. See Napoli done really well in Champion this season. So pretty strong team. Obviously, big McTominay's there as well. Scottish guy, brilliant. Leverkusen. So I mean, all these fixtures above 50% expected clean sheet percentage are all what I would say are pretty good clean sheet games. Definitely. Anything else stand out? Celtic below 50. But there we go. It's good to have all that information available, as I said. So let's have a look at the Celtic prediction as well. I need to move myself out of Adam Ida's head. So yeah, Celtic got Dundee United this weekend. Celtic played against, last league game Celtic played against St Johnstone. Pretty disappointing. They scored from a corner quite early on, then just sat in. Pretty hard to break down. That game, I think Jota started. I think Junt Kuhn maybe started as well. Just didn't really work that well that day. So after that, obviously Celtic have scored good number of goals against Kilmarnock in the league, and then the cup at the weekend, which most people not be interested. Sorare is not covered, but Celtic won 5-0. So Sinisalo, I think he'll continue in goals. Kasper Schmeichel has been training, but the issue is it's just a shoulder injury, so he's training with the ball, but I don't think they want to have any impact or anything on it just now until they're 100% sure. They'll probably want to try and get him back for the cup final at the end of the season. So yeah, that's still about 3 or 4 weeks away. I think it's 24th of May, so it's about a month away, the cup final. So there's no real rush to get Schmeichel back, because I think Sinisalo pretty nailed at the moment. Defence, Liam Scales obviously is the surprise in there. People expecting Trust to win the place back. Scales started again against St Johnstone, played well, clean sheet. What would the reason be to change it? I don't know. It could change, but like you would have to fancy that Scales will keep that place at the moment. Interesting one. Carter Vickers pretty nailed. With Celtic still having to secure the league, I don't think there'll be much messing about really. Alistair Johnson for similar reasons. Greg Taylor's come back into the team, so I'd kind of lost his place to Schlupp. But it was kind of interesting one. Had he lost his place, he was having a baby around about that time. Was talking about his contract. Played pretty well against Kilmarnock. Played well against Johnson last game as well. So if he is going to sign on and he's going to be the dovetail with Kieran Tierney in the next season, might just sort of stick with him more towards the end of the season. Midfield, I've got McGregor, Engels and Hatate at 95%. There's no real midweek games or anything at the moment, or there are some coming up, but there's not been any midweek games between these runs of fixtures. So Celtic played obviously on Sunday for the full week to prepare. I guess Engels maybe touch high. Paulo Bernardo is back. You could maybe see it some point. Maybe Engels gets a rest or Bernardo just plays for other reasons, tactical reasons. But I think like that's the first choice midfield at the moment. Up front is quite a controversial one because I would say our best front three is Maeda, Jota and Kuhn. But Ida started the Cup semi-final, scored a goal, Celtic won 5-0. Maeda has been playing through the middle, but he started that game out on the left. Forrest was on the right, or they kind of swapped over a bit. So, real interesting one. I mean, it's not a case that Jota and Kuhn have just been totally dropped or anything, but like Kuhn's form did actually drop a wee bit. Jota, even his previous spell, didn't start like every game. He's a winger, he's a flair player, etc. Pretty normal. They both will come on. I mean, like they contributed when they came on Cup semi-final, and if you want to risk them, it wouldn't be the most outrageous of risks. You could see one of Jota or Kuhn start over probably James Forrest. But James Forrest's been favoured, and I think Brendan Rodgers wants to kind of put him centre stage just now because of all his achievements and everything at Celtic as well. So pretty interesting there, and that's the prediction. So maybe Engels, maybe slightly more of a risk than I've got him at 95%, but there we go. That's based on all the recent starts and no real need to rotate, I don't think. So on to the top shooter special. Couple of things to note from this point of view. There is an in-season version and there's a classic version as well, which is pretty good. Hadn't really had a look at the sort of super rare end, etc. But yeah, $1,000 for first, pretty good. So you see if I can sneak another Celtic stack in there somewhere. There's a rare version, $800 for first. Scoring changes, -10 for a big chance missed, and +6 for a shot on goal. So big chances missed, maybe you have to avoid Dyson Maeda. He seems to get hammered for big chances missed all the time. Pretty interesting. I mean, I think one of the main changes with these specials from earlier on in the season is we're always just running as classic versions of the competition, whereas now you've got some in-season cash and everything in them, which is pretty good. So this is an extra sheet from Miguel at Sorare Probabilities. I don't know why it's just went blank. I've broken it again. It's okay, I've unbroken it. If that is a thing. So this is an additional part of the service with Sorare Probabilities. Some extra data. So obviously if a shot on target is worth 6 instead of 3, then that's going to make a difference. You get a guy who a couple of shots on target, 6 points, 9 points more. Pretty interesting. So shot projections, Frimpong, interesting one. Not a guy who always scores that well in the Matrix, but does get forward a lot. These are the projected shots, the average shots and everything here, and also average big chances missed as well. Frimpong is an average big chance missed of 0.5. That's amazing, honestly. He gets forward a lot. What I'm going to do is, obviously you can see all the data here. I want to make this relevant to my own gallery as well. So I'm going to filter to my own players. So Frimpong, Anton Gay, Jordi Alba is definitely one we'll look to use. Pretty interesting. Rio Hatate. Rio Hatate's got a defender card. So there we go. Card like that could be pretty interesting for competition like this. Arms Enter. Pretty interesting as well. Midfielders. So again, this is not my own players. I'm going to filter to that in a wee minute. Rafa at Besiktas, pretty interesting one. Andreas Pereira at Fulham. Hani Mukhtar. So yeah, Hani does actually get forward quite a lot, plays quite advanced. Orkin Kokshu, Florian Wirtz is back. If you got the midfield card. Romulo at Chengdu. Going to filter again to my own players. So I've got quite a few Hani Mukhtars actually. Albert Rusnak, I think he was injured recently. Pasalic, Dusan Tadic, good one, pretty cheap at the moment. Kosang Guillaume as well. And then forwards, I mean, obviously forwards probably going to dominate like overall here. So we've got Gyökeres, obviously. Felipe Silva at Chengdu. I mean, Guiri's been really good recently. Messi. Kelvin Yeboah's an interesting one at Minnesota, doing pretty well this season. Leila Bada's in there. I've switched that off quite early, but I'm going to obviously put it back in and see if there's anyone else standing out. Matheus Cunha's an interesting one because obviously Wolves have got a really good fixture. I think they're playing against Leicester. So that's pretty interesting. Anyone else sticking out there? And you see the start percentages on here as well, which is quite interesting. Hugo Ekitiké's been excellent this season. Ousmane Dembele, don't know, will he play, will he not play, that type of stuff. Victor Osimhen as well. So really quite interesting. I'm going to toggle them all onto my own players, and not been on that long tonight. So let's have a wee look, and we'll make a lineup or two. So I'm going to go for in season first. It's a fun competition, you know. Could actually mix in some Celtic players and everything too. Are there any other rule changes here? I don't know if you can. I think you've still got a so in season 1 you've got to use 5 in-season cards. What I mean from the other competitions, sometimes you've got like that dynamic where they you have to put in forwards for mids and all that sort of stuff. So there we go. So let's go back to the top shooter special. We've got defender, limited. So you've got the projected scores in here as well. So I definitely could use a limited Rio Hatate in here actually. Not in season. I don't. It's not, the defender's not in season. That's the problem. Fukumori, he's a big maniac. He could definitely be using Akito Fukumori in here. So goalkeeper wise, like, it's just going to be based on normal percentages, right? So I'm going to have to switch back to the sheet. So sorry for being confusing here, but just to give you an idea as to how to use the sheet properly, etc. It's be quite interesting. So what I normally do is filter this to my own players, and then we'll have a look at who are the top clean sheets for goalkeepers that I've got for this game week. You'll see it takes a wee bit to load because this basically pulling down all the data and just totally filtering this to basically like my own gallery. So I'll have a look at limited goalkeepers, and then we'll select the team here, and then we'll you can stop watching me because you've been fed up watching me at this point. Nearly 20 minutes in. Woof. So here it is, sorted by clean sheet percentages. Benfica obviously the highlight. I don't hold a Tribune Limited at the moment. Kasper Schmeichel's injured. So yeah, Sinisalo definitely makes sense, 47%. Got quite a few of them. I picked up a few recently. Franco Armani is definitely a decent shout. Could be a good dovetail with Montiel actually. Quite a high projected score there. Not a guy who'll maybe get many shots on goal, but yeah, I mean, like, obviously you're trying to put together a sort of winning lineup. I think I probably will put in those guys in here because I'll have plenty of Celtic guys in contenders, so that makes a lot of sense. Forever against Boca. Although Boca's not a vintage Boca team, do you know what I mean? So Fukumori definitely. I mean, the Antlers were pretty good. Remember, like, obviously there's extra points for shooting. but you still have to put together like a high score, right? So it's still a competition where you have to put together high scores. Like, it's not that mad. Midfield wise, anybody standing out here to me? I do have a Kosung Beam there as well. So, he's definitely one who could be up there. Pasalic, I do have an in-season Pasalic, so he could definitely be an interesting one. I'll see what the overall normal projected scores are. Marco Pasalic has 74 and at home as well, so he's definitely a fun card I think to put in here. I definitely got a limited of Pasalic. Yeah, I brought in one of the Rijeka ones. So, and then I think it probably makes sense to run 2 forwards, right? Because you're getting your additional points for the forwards. So it's probably the type of competition where you could. I don't have a Gyökeres limited. I'm trying to think of which of these cards I do have limiteds. I do have a Zaha limited. I should probably just filter that to scarcity, shouldn't have it? It's been a long day, right? It's been a long day. Bruno Motta, interesting one. Been on fire. Yeah, definitely could use him actually. Andres Dreyer. So project scores here 82, 81. Kevin Denke. Get a few shots on target. That is pretty interesting. So Dreyer at home to RSL. I definitely like that shout. I definitely do like that. And who else were we looking at there? Denke. Definitely interesting. Bruno Motta. I'm going to put in Bruno Motta because that's quite a fun team actually. Not Celtic related, but be quite good if that were a good advertisement for the Gal sheet again. Again, it's been really good overall. Captain wise, going to go for Dreyer actually. Dreyer's been really good. You'd fancy him getting a few shots on target. He could definitely put up a big score at home. So quite a solid base there. Got the River defensive stack, nice. Marco Pasalic, who started really well. Can a wee bit more up and down. Bruno Motta and Andreas Dreyer there as well. So anyways, I'm not going to do much more in terms of lineup selection here, but I'll just give you an idea as to what you can do. If you're interested in the spreadsheet from Miguel, give me a shout. So I've had to move myself out of the way. There's so much going on in the home screen and so there these days that I don't even really have a place to put myself in the screen. So yeah, if you're interested in the spreadsheet from Sorare Probabilities, give me a shout. I don't get anything for that, just being completely honest. Like obviously, if you use the Sorare sign up, etc., then that's different because there's like credits and everything. But with a gal, then yeah, it's just a case of recommending it. You've seen on the channel I've been using this spreadsheet all season. Been really successful, obviously, in building teams with the projected scores. Does help you get a flavour of who have the highest projections or who the good cards to buy are, etc. as well. And then when there's specials on, he delivers things like the Top Shooter special where you get all the stats. So it's just really like it's proper helpful. What else been happening? Obviously, we've got the Rivals change and the new common mode. I don't really have a strong feeling in that. I think a lot of people who are like playing Rivals every day are a bit annoyed about it, but I don't really have any strong feelings on it myself. I think it's one of those, like, Sorare are doing it for an obvious reason, and you got to give it a chance. It's a beta. Look at the cool modes that we're going to be able to play next weekend, I think it is. 2nd of May game week, where we've got the Essence competition in the arena and things. So personally, I'm just going to give it a chance, I think. Anyways, I think that'll do. That's nearly 25 minutes. We've covered off, obviously, best fixtures this weekend, the Celtic preview, the Top Shooter special. I think that'll do. I'll need to go and pick some teams now. I've got a gazillion teams to set. It's part of the fun, obviously. Do love it. We'll go from there. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Much appreciated. And I wish you all good luck for the weekend. But it definitely will end in customary fashion. Good luck and go fuck.